Y'all, it's bedtime snack time. I'm not having a snack tonight because I just ate an Arby's and I should have saved that for my bedtime snack time, but I didn't. But it's not going to be sad, but I did want to say that today marks a month. Um, uh, Today, last year on today, Pat and I left for a cruise, and it was we had the best time. We left out of New Orleans. We went early. We stayed in New Orleans a few days. We stopped on the way at Laurel, Mississippi, and spent the day there because I love hometown. And we just had such a good time. It was a 5-night cruise, and then 2 days before the end of our cruise, Pat got sick, and that was kind of looking back. That was kind of the beginning of the end for him with that last month. It was a really tough, rough last month on him. And he physically, mentally, emotionally, and of course at the time we didn't realize a lot of it. Only he did go in and out of the hospital a couple of times, but I've talked on here a little bit that he actually died of kidney failure. His kidneys failed, which we'd been knowing he was going into kidney failure. And we'd been seeing the oncologist every 3 months. We've been seeing the nephrologist every 3 months, expecting that he would go on, his kidneys would fail and he would go on dialysis. And of course, we thought he'd be just fine. But I'm saying all this for this, to point out this. But come to find out, when his kidneys did fail and they put him on dialysis, he was also in acute liver failure secondary to the kidney failure, and had been going into liver failure for a long, long time. And looking back, every time he'd go to his oncologist, he'd come back home, and he'd be like, well, I lost 5 more pounds. And this had been going on for a couple of years. And looking back, it just makes me sick that, I never said, well, we got to get to the bottom of this. And his oncologist was awesome. Every little thing that showed up, he went to extreme to make sure that it wasn't any type of cancer back or any problem. But every time he'd come home, and he just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, but he had a colostomy. And every time he ate and drank, it came right out, that colostomy, that had happened from the beginning. So we just thought that it was just that he just couldn't put on any weight because of that colostomy, but really it was that liver. So it just makes me sick. We don't even understand why, as much as he went to both his doctors and all, that it was never caught with all the labs they had in January before he went to heaven in March. He had a workup at UAB to see if he was a candidate for a kidney transplant. But I talked in depth with my GP about it. And, she explained to me why a lot of times it's really not that abnormal for them to have not caught it, even with all of that. And it's still hard for me to grasp and hard for me to think about. But also, I have to remember, one time Pat said, the day that I die has already been written down in God's book, and there's not a thing I can do about it. And he said that not when all this was happening, but a few years before that. I can remember one time when he said that. So really, at the same time, I know that it was just his time. It was his time. The Lord was finished with him and was ready for him. And so, of course, it doesn't make it a bit easier. But I'm going to be showing y'all some pictures and talking more this whole month about our last month, because I think that's what's going to make me feel better and get me through this, and so that I don't just sit at home all the time and mope and be sad about it. I'm going to be celebrating our life together. So thank you for being here. I don't know what I'd do without this community. I don't even know if I'd be here today without, of course, the Lord and my family, my kids. But y'all are everything to me. And you've carried me through this year, and I just can't thank you enough. And I'm going to bed now, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.